As we step forward into the medium's mind, and the presence of our being asks him to step away and to step back, to allow. We come forward in truth, in love, and within the joy of the Great Spirit. Now, in a moment, we will go to the healing list, perhaps a little earlier than usual. After this, I have a series of messages I must pass on. So, Brandon, may I have the healing names, please?
Yes. Vince, Craig, Karen, Jasmine and Chantel, Mrs. Hayes, David, Pia, Helen, Ellen and Adam, Teresa, Denise and Steve, Carl B., Chris and Howard, Bob and Kath, Lisa, Grace and Rosie, Erica, Mary, Tracy, Eric, Stephen and Matthew, Jill and Katie and Mitch, Marianne and Jody, David Leonard, dogs Paisley, Parker, Jules, and Kitty the cat, Stephanie and Joe. Thank you.
So let us begin. My first message is for Malada. And that is, you will find your validation in your spirit name. And your spirit name is Kripa. Kripa. Sometimes I is Y. And you'll get the validation to what you are seeking and why you are seeking it. Because it is your coming home within the name that you have had for millennia. Names, of course, are a physical construction, not a spiritual construction. But you will understand when you look for the meaning of that word. Now, I would like to remind Jim to carry on with the mindfulness exercise that he was given, to go deeper into that, to watch the mind at work. You will understand, I am sure, based on conversations, that it is important for you that you see this happening, see the thoughts as they arise and as they pass by. And you'll gain some understanding from my next message, which I'll come to soon. And you'll see the point of the exercise. Of course, understanding it and doing it, it can be very different. But follow that exercise. You will see where it takes you. Now, the third message is for Michelle. Michelle, my dear, I was witness to a conversation, a question. And in that conversation, the question that you asked was insufficiently answered. I am sure you understand the question. However, you are barking up the wrong tree. You see, if you chase the understanding of an experience, all you will gain will be a deeper or more expansive experience. There is no real satisfactory answer that will give you everything that you seek with it. By finding just a few words here and there, they may ease you, but they will not take you to where you want to go. The truth of your exploration is not in the experience, but it is in the experiencer. So if you follow the visions or the sounds or the feelings without going beyond, then you will be lost in the experience and perpetuate that and gain more confusion. It is far more beneficial for you if you look at who is experiencing this. And then the experience will not matter, as all experience belongs to the physical realm. It is witnessed by the non-physical realm, but it is non-satisfactory. The true path is to go through the experience out the other side, to understand your truth of self. Now you can begin by seeing where the experience comes from, who it happens to. That is the path. Now, of course, that answer also answers the question that we had for Jim. But it is not just for two people, but it is all. It is the understanding of yourself, not the understanding of the experience, that is important. It connects also to the first message given to Malad. In understanding self, then the experience is fleeting. Like the breeze drifts by, you cannot hold the breeze, and you do not attempt to. Go deeper into who, not what. I trust you understand this message. Now we wish to do an experiment or to show you something. Now, particularly for Terry, may I ask you not to write this down? The reason being is the medium will read your writing. He may not listen to the video, but he will read your notes. And if you put this on the note, then you will void the experiment. So just for a little while, please no recording of that. Now, the experiment we wish to show you is we will place into the medium's mind over the coming weeks gently, and then this gently will become a little stronger, and he will become aware of it and think it is his idea. But he will not profess this idea until somewhere in the early parts of March. Others may get an inkling of this thought process. Now, as he announces that later, you'll know that it was given into his mind in early December. So again, I ask you all for this experiment not to repeat it to the medium. And that is, around that time, he will announce his idea that he wants spirit to work directly in helping and coaching and mentoring, or whatever your words are. We will profess to come to work with you individually for periods of time on any topic, so that you can progress either spiritually or commercially. You will deal with myself or others as we help you forward in your growth or your understanding. This will be done in sessions in either a small number or for 12 whole months on an individual basis. We will guide you then. We cannot make your decisions, but we can coincidentally talk about a topic that may be important for you. And we can guide you along the way if you want that assistance. Now, my medium will need to ratify that at that time within his mind of how it will work. But you will see it come about in March. So now you may begin transcribing again if you want. Before I do, Matthew, you must make a decision on the text that you submit regarding this issue. And I ask you to send one copy now, one copy later. And this will solve that problem for you. You understand, I know. Today, when you look at your life, when you take one step back from the coal face, the point of the blade, then you view your life in a very different way. The circumstances of your life then become less important as you battle through one thing, but by stepping back, you see a greater picture. a greater good, and more intelligence. As you begin your tasks in life, your plans, your practices and exercises, they should be done with a longer term view. Those that meditate just for the benefit of one day will receive and see a minuscule of change. But those that step back and look down on their life will see that the practices are not just for one day, but for one lifetime. And the minuscule change on day one is inconsequential, but also the most important. The exercises you take for whatever outcome you seek are not for your rewards initially, but are for your rewards eventually. And you do not see them in the view of one day or one week, but by stepping back from your life and seeing a broader picture of maybe 1 year or many years, then the reason for your exercises and understanding becomes more clear. You think that you do this exercise for one single benefit that you cannot possibly know. You think the joy of the progress is not being felt until you have the joy of hindsight. There are practices in your life that you can do which are of immense benefit, and practices, of course, which will have minimal benefit. And the practices then should be undertaken with a longer term view. And in that longer term, you will receive as you are meant to receive. So when you begin an exercise, let us call it meditation, but many other exercises will also fit this description. Know that it will give you peace of mind. It will give you a calm nature. It will open you to love and to other qualities that is within your very being. But all of this does not happen on day 1, 2, or 3. So it is very important for you to see the exercises that you must undertake for your well-being, the inner searching, the inner exploration, And know that during your journey, you will have successes and failures. But the failure is also a success to us. Every step you take, even though it may, in your view, progress you very little, is a decision to move to what is important. You are reaffirming the qualities and the directions that you seek. Your path onwards then is one where the exercise becomes your joy. Not for a daily basis, a daily viewpoint, but for the long-term picture. It is quite commonly in your world referred to as the 80-20 rule. 20% of what you do will provide 80% of the success. Put these into your day first. And the rest can fit around it. Now, the 20% may be as simple as meditation, an expression of gratitude, becoming of service. To let your truth be shone into the world. Of course, there are many exercises. Let all you do after then become an expression then of what you are practicing. And then your clarity will become relevant, become visible. And you will see from a different viewpoint the progress that you will make. You do not stand at the altar with your partner-to-be. When one says, I will, you do not say, I will try. You also say, I will. Let that will be within your practice. The trying will change your viewpoint and accept that you will fail. But the confirmation, I will, is not just for one day, but for a lifetime. Even if your partner passes from physical to spiritual, then you can still be an expression of the love that is in your heart. That once you have a target for it, which was once your partner, can now be the external world. It is bringing the spiritual into the physical. It is allowing us to shine so bright as we need you as the vessel to shine into the world. Unless you are willing to let us in, you cannot let us out. So when faced with your decision, the changes which are often thrust upon you, take that one step back and review the change in terms of your greater perspective. You see, this not only gives you a different viewpoint, but it also shows you what else matters. As at times you may undertake your work with respect to your own self, but by stepping backwards, you may see your work as it affects your family. Or your community, or your country. By seeing the next expression from individual to family, for example, your sense of self changes. The importance of the activity changes. Your sense of ego becomes more diminished. You see, as you become more spiritual, and as you go through the realms of your spiritual understanding, then what is important to you, the individual, has a far smaller call than what is important to a group. So if you'd like more spirit in your life, think of your activities in terms of how it affects others, not the self. And be open to that joy that it will give. Your sense of service, your rewards internally, the beings of love that you will call to you, will prove to you the path is true. After all, if you close to other, you will have no sense of heaven on earth. So there is a moral that you may wish to guide your way. Perhaps the word moral is wrong. ask yourself, what can I give? To the grumpy, the destitute, the lonely, but also to the wealthy, to the wise, to the rich of heart. What can you give? It may be time, it may be a few words, it may be comfort, a helping hand. And you not see that then there is more love in your life? And you not see that then there is more love in the world? Will you not be more in tune with your spiritual nature? So the care for other, by the giving of self, is your path that you may choose to follow. Do we not come to give? The giving of love, the giver of messages, the giver of healing, the giver of connection. What can I give? Experiment and see what effect it has, if you wish. And within a short time, you will notice that you can never not give a little more. Watch your ego jump into this giving. To either change your path, to judge the other, or to claim how good you are in the doing. So next week will be our final week for a while. If you would bring your question, we will have others to answer your question if you wish. Plus a few other things. So I bid you farewell. Explore your day and bring light into the world. God bless you. Hmm.